We're just lost. So I've just seen the Uncharted movie, and as a long-time fan of the series, someone who had concerns before watching this movie, I thought it might be worth sharing my review. The Cliff Notes version, in respect for your time, it was better than I expected, and I think there is some reason to at least give this movie a try. But I'll get more into that. So, the bit about me that's relevant. I have loved this series since day one. I remember when I first played Drake's Fortune back in 2007. I've played every game in the series. When I did, I barely put them down for a break. I have my favourite moments, as well as some critiques of the narrative of the games, most of which I would say were beautifully addressed and resolved in Uncharted 4. I love that game. But I think it suffices to say, this series and its characters mean a lot to me, and I know that I am not alone in that. Video game movies find themselves in a complicated position. They are often based on stories and characters people already care about. They have preconceived notions about, and they were originally told in a medium that has its differences from cinema. You play as these characters, you live as them, and even when there are cinematic similarities, you often get more time to know these worlds. And then a movie also has to face the problem of being palatable to people who may not be familiar with these stories at all. I think it's because of this, video game movies often find themselves in a limbo which leads them to fail, often spectacularly. So when a movie gets announced about a property you love, it's met with equal parts excitement and fear. Fear that it doesn't sully the world that you hold on to so dearly. Pun intended. So where does that leave me with the Uncharted movie? As someone who loved these games and felt that it addressed that narrative itch well enough on its own, I didn't feel it needed a movie. So when I saw the trailer, I feared the worst. There are elements of the trailer that are positive, such as the production quality, but also elements that gave me low expectations for the movie. It's clear changes were made to backstories, characterizations, and the design of these characters, which to some major fans may feel like sacrilege. And honestly, some of that is true. But there are differences here that I feel to an Uncharted fan, the trailer actually shows the worst. And if you can think you can come at it with a certain mindset, I definitely think there is a movie to be enjoyed here. The changes in the trailer gave me low expectations, but I chose to watch the movie viewing it as a multiverse version of Uncharted, so I didn't feel like it was in competition or a threat of trying to replace the Uncharted story that I loved. When I did that, I did enjoy this movie. Let's address the elephant in the room. Nolan North, Nathan Fillion, and Mark Whalburg. Many fans of the series, including myself, were unsure of the casting. I understand and agree with people who would have loved it to be Nathan Fillion, especially after seeing that fan film.
Hey there, little guy. What do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, crap.
Jesus! What are they feeding you?
I also like the idea of it being Nolan North, for obvious reasons, and I think he does look the part. However, it's clear after having seen the movie that reaffirms my thoughts for the reason they cast how they did, and that was for the physicality of the role. In this aspect, Tom Holland does a fantastic job. And while at first glance Mark Whalburg is a glaring departure from the Sully that I know, they do establish their own charisma, which is a positive for this movie. The story as a whole is in no way revolutionary and certainly follows expected story beats that any Uncharted fan will be familiar with. But this is by no means bad. The stunts and the fights are well done, and again, Tom Holland excels here, with big set pieces that are as ridiculous as you would expect from the Uncharted series. I did find Tom's voice a little jarring, most likely because I am attached and familiar with Nolan's voice as Drake. My girlfriend didn't have the same issue. I also do think that the writing, especially the dialogue, could be clunky at times.
Well, you know my brother Sam?
Saying Sam is redundant. Anyone who cares knows it's Sam. Just say you know my brother. You know my brother Sam. It's just awkward. Anyway, there are elements in the story that are gonna have less emotional impact. When we meet them in the games, Drake and Sully have already known each other for years. Their backstories and Nate's upbringing slowly come to fruition throughout the course of the games, and those eventual reveals have more meaning. I don't think this movie could ever repeat that. It's just a fun movie, and it also has the ability to allow you to reminisce on your memories of the series if you have them. All in all, it exceeded my expectations, even if those expectations were lowered by my concerns. Honestly, go into it with the mindset that this is a different telling of the story, that multiverse Uncharted, and a reason to reminisce. Just a fun movie. Then I wouldn't be disappointed. I think the most telling review I can give is that when I walked out the cinema, I was remembering how much I love those games. I wasn't angry or upset that they ruined the Uncharted I love, which is a definite fear for some. I was just happily nostalgic, hearing that theme again, remembering those moments, and hoping that if anyone watching this movie enjoys it but hasn't played those games, that this is what makes them finally try out what they've been missing. I love this series. I enjoyed this movie. I would recommend watching it. Just know what to expect. A simple buddy movie with good charisma, well-established action, and a great opportunity for nostalgia if you don't put it into competition or in replacement of the memories you already have. Now look, I hope this was helpful. If you've already seen the movie and you were just looking to see if someone shared your opinion, please get in the comments. I want to see what other people feel like. If you disagree with me, let me know. Liking the video would be appreciated, and check out the rest of my content if you want to subscribe. This isn't the usual thing I do. I generally just mess around playing games. That said, I'm not opposed to doing it again. Just take care, and if you ever find a treasure map, let me know.
Hey, check it out. Marco.
Really?
Come on.
No.
Marco.
Polo.